Next up, we got Washington Square Park. This vast urban park has some dark and disturbing history. This may look like an ordinary park, but when night falls, it becomes quite a chilling sight. Some might say it even becomes a walking cemetery.
Washington Square Park, a mass burial ground for yellow fever victims, Native Americans, and for slaves.
A public directive stipulated that all yellow fever victims were to be buried at Washington Square, adjacent to the Potter's Field there, Kuhn said. In all, some 22,000 bodies were buried there. Sometimes executions were held there as well, drawing crowds.
This park in New York City has more than 20,000 dead bodies, hidden underneath this greenest village park dating back to when the space was at Potter's Field. During the 18th century, the park's natural landscape and built environment changed dramatically over the succeeding years, right under people's noses.
This park, nestled in the heart of Manhattan, is steeped in history, dating back to 1826, when it served as the Washington Military Parade Ground. Fast forward to 1827, and the site underwent a transformation into a public park. However, its tale takes a chilling turn when it was used as a poor cemetery for over 2 decades, providing final resting places for the sick and enslaved. It's hard to imagine now that this green space was built atop such a somber history.
Now, keep that in mind. Days before Halloween in 2009, a tombstone from 1799 was discovered during the park's Phase 2 redesign construction. In 2015, around All Souls Day, 2 intact burial vaults and skeletal remains were discovered underneath the park during water main construction along Washington Square East. Now the real question is,
will anything be discovered this year? Are the spirits still crying out for attention? Some might never know.
But that's not all we have in store. No. In fact, there's an urban legend that the oldest known living tree in Manhattan, known as Hangman's Elm, or more simply known as the Hanging Tree, is an English elm and is the oldest known living tree, being over 300 years old and standing tall at over 110 feet. Now that's absolutely astonishing. Now imagine how tall it would have been if a storm a few years ago didn't blow off the top part.
Urban legend has it that this tree played a role with a number of hangings that took place during the late 1700s and early 1800s. Legend has it that Revolutionary War traders were hanged here among others. But when you start to do more research, you can only really find that comes up as someone who was hanged in the area. And that is the hanging of a young woman named Rose Butler, who was hanged for arson in 1819. Washington Square Park employees say Rose Butler was hanged in the Potter's Field. Not only that, but a gallows was built specifically for that incident, in order to hang Rose Butler. That goes to say public hangings were not very common in this area. And not only that, but during that time this tree was on private property, is why not even part of the public land. It wasn't until 1825, once the Potter's Field was already closed, that the city acquired this portion of the land, and now it's officially a part of Washington Square Park. But before that it was private property. Was unlikely to have public hanging in a private area. Yes, unlikely. No. Legend has it that you can hear Native American chants in the air, soldiers marching throughout, and the ghost figure of a woman wearing white can be seen during windy and stormy nights before seamlessly fading away, followed by the images of bodies hanging from the trees. Quite a scary sight to behold. Now the real question is,
do you believe in ghosts? This has been NYC's Most Haunted. If you enjoyed this content, leave a like, comment, share, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.